One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell them a hookah-smoking caterpillar has given you the call. Call Alice when she was just small. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you've just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low, go ask Alice. I think she'll know. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy down, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the doorbell said. Feed your head. Feed your head.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the very first Go Ask Alice. As promised, thank you to everybody who helped me reach my first YouTube goal of 10 donations during my live stream. So thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's support in all the different ways, as you know. And so here it is. I was not sure what I was going to do when I set that goal. And I think this will be kind of fun. It's something a little bit different. This will be a shorter stream. I'm hoping to keep it around an hour to 2 hours. So we'll see, kind of how it goes. Per usual, I'm kind of winging things a little bit, but have a loose plan in place. So on Go Ask Indy, maybe I said Go Ask Alice. On Go Ask Indy, it's going to be kind of more of a smaller panel. I'm thinking I'm going to keep it around one-on-one for the panel. So an opportunity to kind of come up and not have to compete for the mic. I love the big open panels on Friday nights at Indy After Dark, but I thought this would just be something a little bit different. And then every time I do this, and I'm not sure yet if this will be on a set schedule or just kind of pop up, but I'll be featuring 2 artists, one indie musician and one other content creator. So you can check the channel description to see kind of who's going to be featured each time. And the name Go Ask Indy came from Go Ask Alice, which in addition to the song White Rabbit and kind of a lot of going down rabbit holes and my icon, some people think it's Mary Poppins, but it's supposed to look like Alice in Wonderland. It also has to do with a book that I loved and read when I was young called Go Ask Alice. And it's a story that has a lot to do with drug addiction and overcoming things, but also more about kind of opening your mind and going down rabbit holes in different ways. And a lot of you have been along with me on this journey the last few years of kind of opening my mind to a lot of different things that I hadn't before. And so I thought it was kind of a fitting name. All right, we're going to get right into this. You have to bear with me because I'm sharing all the screens and everything myself. But that intro song also was by Lady Campion and Hugh Caldwell. I'll drop the link for that. Make sure that you go and sub them up. And that's one that I have always enjoyed. I, of course, love Lady Campion and Hugh. They're both extremely talented, and I know they would appreciate your support. So go make sure you're subbed and save that song to a playlist because it's a great one. Okay, the featured musician this week is Iyah May. I've shared a couple of her songs on my live stream, and I just absolutely am so impressed with her. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about her story to you, just to make sure that you guys are aware. It's pretty amazing. I feel like she's like, so basically, video description that I'll drop the link to in a moment. She said, while Carmageddon, that's the song I'll be playing, has sparked significant conversation and controversy, Iyah has stood her ground. She refused to compromise her vision when asked to change a key lyric line, leading to the end of her contract with her manager. She chose to walk away from her record label, and now, fully independent, Iyah continues to carve her own path as an artist. Her fearless approach is shaped by her unique perspective as a qualified medical doctor, having worked on the front lines during the COVID-19, it says pandemic, I'll say plandemic. So, I thought she's someone that a lot of us can relate to, and I hope that you all enjoy her music as much as I do. All right, let me get to, there's a little short that I'll be playing just before going into her song. So here we go.
Weren't you afraid that this would hurt your career because of, well, just like what happened? Your manager dropped you, and this isn't good, and this isn't considered good business, is it?
I mean, yeah, I was afraid about my career, but I was also not. Artists should take risks and back their art, and every art is a risk because you're exposing part of yourself and you're being vulnerable and you're expressing what's inside of you. So it's like what meant more to me was being truthful to what I wanted to say to other people.
Like a true artist.
Play from the start.
I open up my phone on a Monday morning, staring at my screen. I'm tired and a little lonely. Mr. Muskie says some shit that left so angry. Twitter wars and Gaza, man, it's overwhelming. Maybe that's how life becomes when people less important than a profit line. No one cares about your dreams, just pay your tax on time. Keep scrolling, hold me near to you now. Gender, guns, religion, and abortion rights. You better pick a tribe and hit the other side. Keep scrolling.
Did you see Taylor live?
Man-made virus, watch some millions die. Biggest profit of their lives. Here's inflation, that's your prize. This is Carmageddon. Turn on the news and eat the lies. Kim or Kanye, pick a side. Cancel culture, what a vibe. This is Carmageddon. Corporations swear they never lie. Politicians bribe for life. More than war, it's genocide. This is Carmageddon. Welcome to the chaos of the times. If you go left and I go right, pray we make it out alive. This is Carmageddon. It's Fashion Week, celebs lose ribs. Balenciaga has the kids. Just as Drake, he's losing beef. Kendrick killed him in his sleep. This track's about beating up your queen. While women dying doesn't cause a scene. While we're fed all these distractions, kids are killed from Israel's actions. I'ma speak my mind. Sick to death of all these crazy lies. A circus for humanity's decline. We just want a peaceful life. Give the people back their rights. And I still gotta beef, cause Fauci's laughing and we've been asleep. And who's a liar and it's running deep. Big pharma finna eat. They a devil, make 'em weak.
Man-made virus, watch some millions die. Biggest profit of their lives. Here's inflation, that's your prize. This is Carmageddon. Turn on the news and eat their lies. Kim or Kanye, pick a side. Cancel culture, what a vibe. This is Carmageddon. Corporations swear they never lie. Politicians bribe for life. War and war, it's genocide. This is Carmageddon. Welcome to the chaos of the times. If you go left and I go right, pray we make it out alive. This is Carmageddon.
Well, it's talking muted. I'm sure it's bound to happen more than once. Yeah, that song is amazing, and she's an incredible artist. I really have been enjoying her music. Algo, thank you for introducing me to her as an artist. She's incredible, and we have a couple more songs of hers coming up here soon. Thank you so much to everybody who's here. I really appreciate you being here for this first stream, and yeah, I hope that it's working well. I know the chat can be a little annoying to follow in the vertical mode, but just wanted to try something different and kind of see how it goes. And I don't know if I'll always do this in vertical. I'll probably maybe do my first poll, finally figure out how, and ask you guys what you think about it, if we should keep it vertical or go back to the regular format. But you guys can put your comments in the chat right now and let me know that too. Thank you very much to my mods who are slinging links to the content creators in the chat. That's something that I've always been about, is helping people connect and network with each other. Make sure that you're going and checking out channels, supporting one another. A lot of amazing content creators here and in this community. So make sure you're supporting one another. And I see everybody coming in. Even if I miss your first comment and don't get to highlight your name, I do see you all here. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate the support. And, you know, it's no fun without all of you. So thanks for being here. All right. We're going to go ahead and keep going. I have another video we're going to share here. This is by our featured artist today. This is JM Unleashed. He's a content creator. JM does a ton of stuff on his channel. He is a dog walker, and so he shares a lot of, and a dog whisperer for that matter. He shares a lot of information about dogs and taking care of them and training them in positive ways. And in addition to that, he's into silver or metal stacking, and also has started dabbling in AI music. So he has quite the hodgepodge of amazing content. JM is a huge, huge supporter of so many people, including myself, and just a rock solid person. Surprise, JM, that you're featured tonight or today. I'm glad you're here for it. And I'm so grateful for you, JM, and for all of the support you give. And I hope that you know that. And so I thought, you know, who better for this first awkward Go Ask Indy than to have JM be featured and let you know I appreciate you so much. All right. This is a promo video from his channel, and it is kind of an overview of all of the different content that he creates over on JM Unleashed. Here we go.
Welcome to JM Unleashed. My channel focuses on the subjects of dogs, nature, music and entertainment, precious metals and finance. I also do word games every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy.
Good. It really is. Let her lead the way. She's happy. They'll be happy to have her here.
challenging her for the good puppy. If we go again, all the way from the start, I would try to change the things that killed our love. Yes, cause I'm TNG, I'm dynamite. TNG, I'll win the fight. TNG, I'm a power load. TNG, watch me explode. Oh, I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. Have we found the same old fears? Wish you were here. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God will cut you down. Sooner or later, God will cut you down. There was a girl in Portland before the winter chill. We used to go a-courting along October Hill, and she could laugh away the dark clouds, cry away the snow. I hear people say that silver is crashing.
It's the winner.
Just to prove that I was you and this Chinese red balloon, I think of it and
Wood balloon.
That was awesome.
Bravo.
That was awesome.
You had to wait to make sure that was over the water first, though, right? Jay.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mean to get too political, but I thought it was appropriate.
All right. Awesome promo that you did there, JM, and good recap of what you do over on your channel. Okay, there'll be a little bit more about JM and his channel coming up here in a few moments. I just want to give kind of a heads up for everybody to know that what I'm going to do is I'll drop the link here in a little bit. Kind of when I'm done highlighting these two channels, I'll drop that link so that others can join the backstage, and then I'll be bringing people up one at a time. And my thought is, we'll probably keep it kind of brief. So maybe I don't know how many of you are going to be brave and bold and come up here and talk with me. But I'm thinking it'll be around 10 minutes per person, kind of a goal. And so just a chance to come up, chit chat for a little bit, and then on to the next. And we'll see. I mean, this is the first one, so I might adjust it along the way and see what works and what doesn't. And the topic is up to you guys. I saw a couple of people saying, what are we asking, Indy? You can, within reason, ask me anything you want. I don't have to answer, but if you have questions for me about the channel, or if you want to share about your own channels, if you want to come up and talk politics or current events or my opinion on something, or you want to just share your own, it's really whatever you want it to be. So go ahead and hit that link when I post it, and hopefully some people will come and join me. If enough people come up, then you'll probably have to wait in the backstage on the porch for a little bit. But just trying something different and seeing how it works over here. All right. We're going to go ahead and go into the next song by Iyah May. This is a cover remix that she did of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. And listen carefully to the lyrics, because she changed them up and made them her own. And I think she did an incredible job with this. I'm really just impressed by the truth that she's conveying through her songs, and that she's using her platform for good, as hopefully all of us do. All right, here we go. Iyah May, Wish You Were Here remix.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, a world full of pain, a ceasefire prayed for, red flames for the angels, the truth from a tale. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your borders for votes? A court system weaponized, and fear stories televised, retweet, posted, monetized. Did you exchange your freedom, rights, and your choice for a lead role in the cage?
All right. Really, really love what she's doing. So hope you guys enjoy it too. I do want to say that the sound is usually not as clear going through StreamYards as it is obviously at the original source. So I hope that you guys go over and check out all of the videos and music that is played here over at their, on their channels, because then you'll hear the way it's intended to be heard. All right. Thank you so much, everybody coming in. Bern, good to see you. I'm going to spend more time chit-chatting with everybody in chat in just a few minutes, but I do see everybody coming in. I really appreciate you all being here. Yeah, Katie, doesn't she have just a lovely voice? I agree. Really good song, right, Pat? Rebecca, good to see you. Anti, thank you for all you're doing, and for Snooks too, and all my mods. Appreciate you all. Yes, absolutely, Algo. It is great to see a music artist use their brain for critical thinking, right? Yeah, we're not all about supporting the sellouts here, that's for sure. We've got enough of those. Okay. Yep, we went vertical. We're seeing how this works. Absolutely, Pat. Pray and use discernment. That's one of the best things we can do. Absolutely agree. All right. Okay, the next thing we're going to listen to is a song that is an AI generated song that JM created. It's absolutely amazing. This is one of my favorites of his. On some of his songs, he doesn't sing, that he creates, he doesn't sing, but on this one he does. And I really like the message of all of his songs. So as you're listening, make sure you're listening to the message of the lyrics as well as the music itself. And, I got to get it ready first. Okay, this right before that, there's going to be a little clip of the word game that I'm obsessed with, and many of us are, that JM plays over on his channel. You might have seen it on some other channels too, but I will tell you that JM, I think, is the best host at the word game. He's just really much more comfortable than I am being up on panel by himself and just kind of keeping the chat going and helping people with the game too as it goes along. And he does a great job hosting it. And so this is just a little highlight from one of his word game streams. And here we go.
So all these letters are in play. There's no fake letters, no hidden letters. What's 420? Nice. It's 720 here. 721 now, according to this. How long did that take? That's awesome. I think I might actually do a shorts video on that. How fast that was, man. Well done, Johnny Silver, Silver Patriot, 79 Gigi, Indy, Tom, and Sharon. Just rocking it.
Hands keep spinning round and round, can't catch the minutes on the ground. Time's a thief that wears a crown, always here but never found. Chasing hours like we're chasing gold, never young yet never old. In the rush we lose control, breaking molds is getting old. Tick-tock, the moments fly, day turns night without a why. Take a breath, let worries lie, in the calm our best is night. Work and hustle, running wild, dreams and deadlines reconcile. In the chaos there's a child, yearns to play and be beguiled. Pause the race and shift the gears, steal back seconds from the years. In the quiet disappear, just find the peace so crystal clear. Tick-tock, the moments fly, day turns night without a why.
Take a breath, let worries lie. In the calm, our best is night. Pause the race and shift the gears. Steal back seconds from the years. In the quiet, disappear. Find the peace so crystal clear.
Beautiful song. Really well done, JM. Okay. All right. The next song that I'm going to play, and I'll try to remember to drop the link also so people can start kind of joining the backstage. And I am planning to kind of try to keep it around a half hour for the beginning before we go into the open mic. And, and then I'll kind of see where it goes from there. And I figure when people aren't coming up, then that'll be time to wrap it up. But the next song that we're going to play is one of Iyah May's originals that she has on her video. And it's from 5 years ago. And I think it's kind of interesting to go back and look and see, kind of what the difference is in her music from then to now, kind of see the progression. But, she's been extremely talented for a long time. So hope you guys enjoy this song. This is Iyah May, Pray.
Everybody want a big house, oh, but everybody got a big mouth, oh. I got friends, but are they really friends? Yeah, you see my come up, now you're hanging here, yeah. I got friends, but nothing crazy, oh. Buy a house, maybe a baby, oh. Maybe I just need that simple life, yeah. Not silly Billy with this fire life. Now you got my hand, and I'm gonna hold you tight. Worry about nothing, just here for the better high. La 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 la. Pray we don't drown in it all. I need a life jacket, cause I'm swimming in the sea with all this life package. Everybody wanna fit in like a pre-packaged. Fabricated, it's the famous like we all made it. Yeah, we all made it, but I'm a deep believer. My second cousin asked me what if it could be a winner. I said, brother, everybody here born a sinner. Don't let them take it from ya, don't let them take it from ya, no. Pray for me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. You wanna pray for me? Pray for me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. Yeah. Everybody's got their big dreams, I know. Cause everybody wanna be seen, and so always acting like my best friend, yeah. But bitch, you'll never be my best friend, yeah. Now you got my hand, and I'm gonna hold you tight. Worry about nothing, just here for the better high. La 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 la. Pray we don't drown in it all. I need a life jacket, cause I'm swimming in the sea with all these life package. Everybody wanna fit in like a pre-packaged. Fabricated, it's the famous like we all made it. Yeah, we all made it, but I'm a deep believer. My second cousin asked me what if it could be a winner. I said, brother, everybody here born a sinner. Don't let them take it from ya, don't let them take it from ya, no. Pray for me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. Come on and pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. I say pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. Say pray for me. With you, no, I don't need to worry. And these waves may be heavy. I know it don't make sense, but I'm praying that she'll stay. I need a life jacket, cause I'm swimming in the sea with all these life package. Everybody wanna fit in like a pre-packaged. Fabricated, it's the famous like we all made it. Yeah, we all made it, but I'm a deep believer. My second cousin asked me what if it could be a winner. I said, brother, everybody here born a sinner. Don't let them take it from ya, don't let them take it from ya, no. Pray for me, pray for me. Say a prayer for me, pray for me, pray for me. Say a prayer for me, pray for me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. Say you praying for me, pray for me, pray for me. I say you're praying for me now. Pray for me, pray for me.
Pray for me, pray for me, pray for me.
All right. Kind of fun to see what her music was like before and where she's come from there. All right. Okay, drop the link in the chat for anybody who wants to come backstage. Like I said, you can just join to talk about whatever is on your mind. Any questions for me? Any things you want to talk about for your own channel? Don't be shy to promote what you know, there's so many talented people out there amongst you. I hope that you'll come up and kind of plug your own channels and talk about what's going on with you. You just want to come up and keep me company so I'm not up here by myself and end the stream. That's good too. But the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Come and join me up here. And before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and share one more video here of JM's. This is a music video that he did that features a couple of his dogs that are so cute. And this is his song, We're Unleashed. Here we go.
Truck through snow, crunchy under toe. Winter sun, it starts to glow. Happy tales in frosty flow. Unleashed, we roam so free. Many smiles and Theo beams. Snowflakes dance and winter's glee. In a world of snowy dreams. Small but full of might. Theo's big and such a sight. In the snow so pure and white. They explore from day to night. We're unleashed, we roam so free. Many smiles and Theo beams. Snowflakes dance and winter's glee. In a world of snowy dreams. Every step's a new delight. Squishy snow, it feels just right. With each turn, the world's so bright. Mini Theo's perfect night. We're unleashed, we roam so free. Many smiles and Theo beams. Snowflakes dance and winter's glee. In a world of snowy dreams. Every step's a new delight. Squishy snow, it feels just right. With each turn, the world's so bright. Mini Theo's perfect night. We're unleashed, we roam so free. Many smiles and Theo beams. Snowflakes dance and winter's glee. In a world of snowy dreams.
All right. Awesome, JM. Great song. And the video is so fun to watch because, of course, who doesn't love your doggos? That's wonderful. All right. I also dropped a link in the chat for JM's upcoming premiere. He has a new song called, it says Valentine's, A Time to Unite, from December to February. So make sure that you go and hit the notification for JM's upcoming song. And we'll look forward to hearing that. And I'll probably be playing that on my Valentine's Day stream, which is coming up on Friday on Valentine's Day. It just happened to fall that way. And I'm really looking forward to that. I hope that a lot of you will be there. That will be my kind of like one of my normal streams. It's sort of like the shindig normal. So I'm going to have artists that want to come up to sing, either karaoke or indie musicians, or have their music shared. We'll do like 2 or 3 song sets instead of having to wait in rotation. And then that'll kind of be scattered throughout, along with indie music videos that I'll be sharing, and then conversation throughout the night. So really looking forward to that. And I hope that a lot of you will be there for that on Friday at Indy After Dark, or Valentine's Day After Dark. All right. Okay. We have our very first guest up on Go Ask Indy, and that is Algorithm. Algo, thank you so much for coming up.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Is that mic too loud?
Nope. You're sounding great.
Okay, good.
Right, Katie, I know the doggos are so cute. Okay. So how are you doing, Algo?
You know, it's good. It's really cold here today. It's about 10 degrees. And
Oh, yeah.
so
That is
it's pretty
cool.
cold outside. You know, Iyah, with her music, that's kind of what I wanted to come up and talk to you about a little bit.
Yeah.
It seemed to me like I listened to a bunch of her old stuff too, and she kind of was like anti-materialism and a little bit out of the system, out of the mainstream thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe COVID just pushed her.
Yeah. Well, you know, she worked in the medical field, and I think she probably saw a lot of the bullshit that went on, you know, within that industry. And I'm sure she probably, like many of us, had her eyes opened, you know?
Yeah, I think it's pretty common. I don't know about a lot of people in the chat how long they've been doing this, but events like that, I think that's what I see we're going through now with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
To where there are people that, and I think I sent you the clip, but there are people that if he would have won his second term and then the blue team would have been in this time, there would be a lot of objection to everything he's doing. But
Right.
by the so-called patriots, conservatives, all that. But because they're on the red team, he can do anything he wants. And it's just, they're just going with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are, you know, who haven't maybe been paying as close of attention are starting to see, as, you know, they're unraveling like the USAID and all of the ridiculous things that were being funded through that. And, you know, just a lot of what's being exposed, I think, I'm hoping, is waking some people up, you know, that didn't have their eyes open before this. But I guess we'll see, you know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, contributing your stream contributes to that for a lot of people. I've met a lot of cool people here who are smart and they understand it, and maybe they don't understand everything like I don't, but every time you get out there and you use your voice and share things, I think it makes a difference. So
well,
keep up
thank
the
you for
good
that.
work always.
Yeah, yeah, you too. And thank you to everybody who's part of this community, because, you know, I've learned so much from all of you. And, you know, I don't even come close to having all the answers, that's for sure. But I'm definitely here to ask the questions. And I'm glad that so many people here are able to agree to disagree, you know, because sometimes it gets a little, you know, heated. We get passionate about these things, and, you know, emotions can be on the rise because we're dealing with a lot and having to adjust, you know, kind of our outlooks all the time based on new input. And yeah, it's a wild ride. We're living through some crazy, crazy times. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I think I notice it in people in my life, in real life. They've adjusted just to cope with what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Because there does seem to be a level of crazy that if you didn't, and I'm so thankful that I kind of saw some of this before it happened, because if you had to wake up during this, and even now when people are starting to ask questions right now, it's got to be really hard because there's not a real clear path to make sense of it, I think.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I know for myself, a lot of you know my story, and it was a pretty, wild beginning to it. I kind of woke up. I really wasn't paying attention to politics. Um, you guys are cracking me up. Good to see everybody in the chat, by the way. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Glad to see you guys talking amongst yourselves also. I like that, we can provide a place for you guys to come and just be together, which is great. But yeah, for me, it was like ripping off a Band-Aid. It was like the floodgates opened. All of a sudden I was, just looking at so much information that was completely new to me and really trying to take it all in. And it was overwhelming for sure. And some people, we have to remember, are just at that point, for whatever reason, the veil has lifted for them more recently, if at all. And, I think, I see sometimes, people getting kind of critical of like, well, where have they been all this time, or why weren't they paying attention? But, personally, I think that a lot of times it's actually a spiritual veil. I think that it's, God's timing, and people kind of wake up when they're supposed to. I didn't know, nobody knows what they didn't know, so I didn't know that my eyes were closed. I didn't know that I wasn't paying attention to things that were out there because I didn't know what was out there. And that's true for them too, so we need to have a little grace with ourselves as we go through this journey, and have a little grace for others as well.
Well said. So imagine what we still don't know.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure we have our own cognitive dissonance in different areas, and I'm all for trying to find out, right, Pat? Trying to find out what reality is. Pat says, my crew won't wake up to reality. And yeah, honestly, a lot of the people that I thought were my crew back 2019, I always felt like I was very blessed to have a lot of really close friendships, to have a really big extended family that was pretty close. And, between the fear of COVID and people staying in their homes for, in some cases, basically staying in their homes for years, but not, interacting socially outside of their homes. And then all of the turmoil of, from the George Floyd riots to BLM to, information about the, the pandemic of the unvaccinated and all of that. I mean, there was so much conflict that came up that, a lot of what used to be my crew, I don't even really think of as my crew anymore. And that's a hard thing for me. I'm a loyal person, so I don't, give up relationships very easily. And I had to do that in a lot of cases. And I think a lot of us did.
Yeah, and from you said it, and I believe I believe what you said, that it's a spiritual awakening that happens in not necessarily our timeline, but God's timeline. And with the things I've seen most in the people around me who have gone through that is that they're stronger and they have stronger faith. And when that happens, you have less fear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I definitely went through a period of anxiety, I'd say, as I was trying to take all of this in, and, it was a lot for me all at once. But, it says in the Bible 365 times to fear not. And I think that that's intentionally done so that we have it, one for every day, that fear doesn't do any good. It doesn't, we can only control the things that we have our own power over, and fearing doesn't help anything. So I try to catch myself when I'm getting into a place of fear.
Yeah, that's smart. That's cool that you put that in a way that actually made sense to me. 365 days in a year, so 365 times it's in the Bible.
At least on our current calendar. It might be a glitch in the matrix, but just saying.
Well, no, I think that's amazing, because I've always, not always, but for a long time, I've thought that the Bible was a code book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could read it from a place of, I don't know, even what to call it, Holy Spirit instead of religion or whatever they want you to do, that you'd get some wisdom out of it. So
thank you, Snacks. Yeah, definitely.
No fear every day.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to move on.
Yeah. Thanks for being brave and coming up and being my first guest up here. Appreciate you, Algo.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks.
Really
And
quickly, do you
go
want to
ahead.
share anything about your channel? I know you haven't been doing your live streams, but you've been posting some new videos. Anything you want to say about what's going on over there?
Yeah, I suppose that I feel kind of bad for the people that went there consistently looking for a live stream, and then I just kind of shut it off. But I had a pretty big transition in my life, so I'm gonna start streaming on Rumble pretty much exclusively.
Awesome.
And when I do find something that I think's positive and maybe helpful, that I will post it on YouTube.
All right.
And if anybody
Well,
needs to get a hold of me, my email is over there under the About section.
okay. Great. Well, thank you again, Algo. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you post. I've been enjoying the videos you have put up and just, how you're sharing, you're really good at sharing your thoughts with others, but also really good at uplifting others. And I'm all for that. So thanks again, Algo.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks, friend. Take care. We'll see you around.
Yep. See you around. Have a good one. Okay. All right. Next we have Cooking with Mike B. How are you doing, Mike? Thanks for coming up.
How's it going?
Oh, there we go.
How's it
Yeah.
going?
What was that?
I said, how's it going?
Going good. I think it's been a good stream so far. I've been enjoying being here with all of you and seeing the chat moving around and everybody's talking and interacting and get to share this time with all of you. So I'm glad to be here. How are you doing?
Well, speaking of faith and everything,
Mhm.
in the beginning, when I was a young and dumb teenager, did some bad stuff with that. I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to catechism, went to First Communion, and it was 2003. I got born again and saved. I became a Christian, and and what you're saying about the Bible is, the Lord, our Father in heaven, says, do not fear, because these things are
Yeah,
to come.
absolutely.
These things are to come, and unfortunately, if we're here, we have to go through them. But the thing is, no matter what happens, all the bad ones, they get their time, but we win in the end.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah, we get caught up in, our lives here, but this is just a blink of the eye, when we're looking at eternity. So yeah, it's a good perspective to have there, Mike. Let me read this comment here from Bran. It goes along with what we're talking about. Bran says, the theme of fear not is a tight weave in the Bible, so much so that one can compile a full calendar of unique reference to this theme, but the specific phrase does not appear that many times. Oh, all right. So the concept, fearing not. Love it.
Yeah, a thousand years for us is a blink of an eye to the Father.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But for this blink of an eye, it sure is pretty intense down here, right? Got a lot going on.
With everything going on, it's insane with inflation, everything going on with everything in the skies, everything going on everywhere. It is messed up. And speaking of messed up, I'm in Massachusetts, and do you have any idea how bad of a storm we are gonna get tonight until Tuesday?
I've been hearing a little bit about that. Yeah. Are you prepared for it? Do you have, your, a generator or backup equipment, your stuff for heat, like all that good stuff, water?
I am all good. I'm all good with that. I've been all good with that since 2007,
Thanks,
since I've been
Algo.
prepping. But
Yeah. Good.
tonight it's gonna we're gonna get 1 to 5 inches of snow and freezing rain. Tomorrow, wind. Friday, wind, and then Saturday into Sunday. And this is the icing on the cake. The whole weekend, Saturday, Sunday, it's gonna snow, and they say 19 inches, and which means for this
Wow.
area, because I lived here so long, we're gonna get over 2 feet of snow, and then come Monday, Monday's gonna be bad, and it's a
Yeah.
cherry on that's a cherry on the cake. I mean, a cherry on the Sunday, because we're gonna get over 40 something mile winds all day long. And it's gonna really stink because if we have that freezing rain stuff on the wires and everything, we're gonna have power outages. I can guarantee you, we're gonna have power outages. It's gonna be
Right.
bad.
Yeah. Well, what would you say as a prepper? What would you say are the top, like maybe 5 things people need to have to be prepared? I mean, hopefully they have them at this point, but for people out there who are in maybe other areas who aren't into prepping, what are the things that come to your mind as your main needs?
For what scenario? For regular scenario, the number one prep is getting right with God. That's absolutely the
Oh,
number
love
one
that.
prep. That's number one prep. Number two is water. You need water. Number three is food. Number four is your miscellaneous stuff. And number five is just getting the mindset.
Yeah, I like that. Great answer, Mike. That was a good one. Put you on the spot on that one too. Okay, well, how about for your specific, like this weather event that's happening? What would you say are the main needs for this? I mean, beyond the 5 you just mentioned, like
Oh,
equipment wise or gear wise, I
oh,
guess.
for myself?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm pretty much all set. I'm good. I'm good to go. I got my shovels. I got the plow dude that comes, and I got a bunch of sand and salt, and I'm good. I'm pretty much with me is when 2020 happened. How do I put this? I wouldn't have to leave the house for 15 years if I didn't have to.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're well prepared. That's great. Yeah, and I know also like a lot of people don't like to share, OPSEC, you don't want to share everything that you have either. So, yeah, I
Oh
appreciate
no, no,
what
no,
you are sharing.
I get that. I get that. Like with my location, when the
Ready?
crap does hit the fan, uh, my mag knows where to go, and they know where to go because I have this location and 2 other locations, and I have 1 other location. It's a secret
Mhm.
location which nobody knows except me. But yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
I hope to God it doesn't happen. I hope to God it doesn't happen. But yeah, just got this bad feeling. Just got this bad feeling.
Yeah, I kind of am one to lean towards, I try to keep my mind open to all different possibilities, sort of see, well, maybe if this is the case, then and maybe things will go this way. And if this is the case, then maybe things will go this way. And sort of, things fall into place and you see which timeline we're on or which way things are going, which path, I guess it is that we're on. But yeah, I think that, it's important to try to keep an open mind. And while we're doing that, be as prepared as possible. Yeah, Carl's saying he
Um,
wants the deep snow. A few feet would be nice.
is it
Yeah, we got a little
Camel
bit.
Carl?
Yep.
Hey, Camel Carl, how you doing? How you doing, brother? How's it going? Yeah, my
Mike,
2 biggest. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize for
no,
interrupting.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say. You're good.
Yeah, my 2 biggest fears is the well, not fears. I'm not worried about them. If they're going to happen, they're going to happen. Is the our debt right now is $37 trillion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then a grid down situation. That's going to be bad. There's the debt. Our debt. There's no way to pay that back. We can't pay that back. It's not
Thank you,
feasible to
Anti.
pay that back.
Yeah, I mean, there's all different ideas around that. Some people think that, our money system's collapsing completely, so debt will be kind of null and void. Others think we might default on our national debt, and there's all sorts of ramifications from that. Whatever way that all plays out, I think it's very likely we're going into, or they're trying to push us into a different system, a very different financial system. I don't know if it is fear as much as just seeing what I think is the writing on the wall. I think that we're very likely headed towards something like they have in China, where, it's about the control. It's a control system. The social credit score and, toe the line or else. It looks like they're really putting that foundation in place here in the US, and it's pretty wild to see. but like Pat Evans says, I have no plans but pray. I think, like Mike was saying too, your faith is first and foremost. And, for those who do believe in God, he does provide, I mean, I see that in my day-to-day life in all sorts of ways. And some things that maybe those who do not have faith might not recognize, it can be in small ways. But when you put all of that together, I know God's got my back. And that's where I think a lot of my calm does come from, my peace, So thank you for that, Pat. It's a good reminder. I like that, Snooks. I will not fear and I will not run. Yeah, absolutely. Do not comply. As these things are trying to be rolled out, it's up to us to be the pushback. It's not going to be somebody else, in my opinion, that, so and so, so to say, saves us from this. It's going to have to be us. And that might get pretty ugly sometimes. But, right, Make? But I hope that we'll hold our ground anyway, kind of figure out what your lines are. Some of us have already had them go past some of our lines, and we did have to make some tough choices. Others, maybe it's more removed than, it has been for some of us. But I hope that you guys kind of have thought through where your lines are and, what that might look like, holding your ground.
I will die standing on my feet, then surrender on my knees.
Right? Yeah, many of you knew Dangerous Freedom. Ron, he was someone that a lot of us got to know each other through, and he was a hub for so many. But he chose the name Dangerous Freedom online because of the quote, I choose dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. And that really resonates with me, and I think resonates with a lot of us. And I think it really resonates with way more of us than, the powers that should not be, as Wingnet says, want us to believe. And that's where my name kind of came from. There's a little bit more behind that story, but IndependentMany United, I think there are way more of us than there are of them. And we need to have each other's backs, in your local community, one-on-one with your friends and family, but also here online. I've had a lot of people that have had my back in different ways here, and I've been able to be there for them. And I think, that it all really comes down to the love we have for one another. And that's what the Bible says are the two basic, it kind of sums it all up, is love God and love your neighbors as yourself. And if we continue to do those things, then hopefully enough of us can push back to at least, kind of delay what their plans are. Because their plans are definitely not about love.
It's like 1913. That's when those nefarious people went to that island and made that deal, and they created a Fed. And the Fed right now, the Fed back then, that's illegal. What they're doing is illegal.
Right. Yeah.
It's been illegal since back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of things that they're doing are illegal. I mean, if you look at the Constitution, which is the law of our land, the ultimate law of our land, there's a lot that they've done that has broken those laws. And I guess they're going to keep pushing until we push back. So, there's all different ways that can look, acting locally, making sure you're involved in your politics, in my opinion, that you're voting, all of those things. But, they're already starting to show up more and more on our front steps. I kind of laughed. I did laugh when I saw a news clip recently in my local news about a heist and a burglary, and it was for eggs, and who thought that here in the United States of America, we would be in a time frame where they didn't go in, they broke into a restaurant, a local restaurant, and they didn't take any of the equipment. They didn't even take the money. They literally just went in to steal all of the eggs. It's pretty
here's
wild.
something for you to know about I don't want to, I'm not going to say the word. I don't want to get your channel in trouble.
Oh, you're fine.
Why they're getting rid of all the chickens and stuff because of that, what, right? They're getting rid of that. Thing is, if you know to handle them right and you cook them right, and even the eggs, You cook them right, it doesn't work like that. You can't get it from that. They're coming after our food. They're destroying our food, and
Yeah,
with
I absolutely agree.
the cows, now the chickens. Yeah, and the thing is,
Yeah.
this is good for you, and they're doing that, and
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And even during COVID, they were giving the mRNA vaccines to deer and to wildlife. So, there's a lot of things like that people aren't all aware of. But I definitely think that they're going after our food sources because they want us completely dependent on them. And that's their means for control.
Speaking of COVID, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this
Nope,
thing
go ahead.
really, 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 really ticked me off when it first started happening. It really did, and it still ticks me off to this day. It really does. When that happened, you had that you could have the isolation, you couldn't be around
Mm-hmm.
anybody.
Right.
It was the people in the nursing homes, the
Yes.
granddads and the grandmothers and stuff in there, and they were scared to death. And if I start tearing up, might tearing up about this because this really
Yeah.
ticks me off. Because I had a family friend in there, and yeah, and they were scared and they were alone, and you couldn't go see them.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And it's heartbreaking because there were so many people that passed by themselves and they couldn't even be surrounded by their loved ones. Like, you tear up away because that is one of the most disgusting things I've witnessed in my life. I feel like there's not been a real accountability yet for a lot of the people that put that into place, many of whom knew exactly what they were doing. And like our governor here in Washington State, Jay Inslee, who's a deep state puppet, he absolutely knew what he was doing. And he did the same thing like over in New York that Cuomo did. He put all of them, the people with COVID were put back in the nursing homes, and then they put them on the protocols like they were doing in the hospital. Here in the United States, it was remdesivir, but there was another medication I cannot remember the name of that they used in the UK, and it led to a lot.
Was it euthanasia?
Basically, it's a medication that they knew had ramifications that would cause problems, allegedly in Minecraft, for YouTube's sake. But yeah, there's a lot of evidence out there, and it came out. I mean, a lot of the information was known right at the beginning. I was lucky and stumbling into and learning through a lot of people here, some good sources for great information, and much of it has proven to be true. And now that information is out there. If you go back and watch, like, I think it's Deborah Burke, she talks about how, and Fauci, like all of them, they're so complicit. It's ridiculous. Silver, thank you so much for becoming a member. He says, well said, Indy. Great community here. Absolutely agree. I've got so many amazing people here, and I appreciate all of you. Okay, any final thoughts here, Mike? And then there's nobody backstage, you guys, so I'm kind of going to wrap this up if nobody comes up to join me. I'm just saying. I've got a little bit more time if people want to keep going, but I kind of figure I want to keep these a little bit short. So they're not the whole 6 hours.
Indy's getting tired of me being up here. So
no, I'm not, Mike. I just want to kind of keep. I'm trying.
I'm joking with you. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I really appreciate you coming up. I definitely do. And yeah, no,
come on. Somebody come up. Come on. Somebody come up and chat, because that's just my smoke, and I gotta get going because I can't. Oh man, I can't wait for tomorrow. And oh man, we're gonna get nailed so bad with that snow stuff. Ugh.
Well, stay safe. I'm glad you're well prepared. I'll be praying for everybody. Good shout out there. I'm here to Dangerous Freedom, right? Love that guy. Miss him all the time. But thank you so much. Thank you for coming up and getting to talk with me for a little bit, Mike. Appreciate it. And I hope I'll see you on Friday.
What's going on Friday?
Friday is when I do my normal live streams, Indy After Dark. And this week it's Valentine's Day After Dark. So it's going to be a kind of mix of indie music, live music, and conversation. So hopefully you can come and be there. I think I talked with you before. It's like split. It starts at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern. And we usually go about 6 hours or so. So, sometimes there's more of a schedule, but you can. come in for any of it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
That's okay. I
for
just
that.
didn't hear you. Go ahead.
I'll try to show up if it's 8. I'll try to show up. It might be past my bedtime because me personally, I get up like 3:30 in the morning, and then I go to bed about 7. But I'll try to make it if I can. It's Valentine's Day too, so yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know. And I thought about either canceling it or changing the time or something like that. But I figure, there's a lot of people that don't have people in person life, or their plans are different. And I thought it'd be a good time for people to have a place to go and get together. So we're going to go ahead and have our own Valentine's party right here.
Is there anybody backstage right now?
I do have somebody. Yep.
Okay, well, there you go.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
well, okay,
again.
well,
Yeah.
all right, well, hey, and I thank you for having me up. I appreciate that. You have a good night, and everyone in chat, you have a good night, and God bless every single one of you. Have a good one.
God bless, Mike. Mike, really quickly, sorry, I just want to give everybody a chance to do this. Do you want to say anything about your channel and what's going on over there?
Oh, yeah, it's called Cooking with Mike B. I cook food. I rant about the weather because yeah, it's been really bad here lately, and yeah, that's about it. But I make a lot of good dinners. So if you want to check that out, you can. And hey, I appreciate that for you letting me say that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, go
That's
check out
really
his channel,
kind.
everybody. Yeah, connect with Mike B over on his channel and check out what he's up to. All right, Mike, have a great night. God bless.
Yeah, you too. God bless. Thank you for having me up.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right. Now we have the man himself, JM Unleashed. Thank you for coming up, JM. Glad you're here.
Hey, thanks, Indy. How are you?
I'm good. Surprised. I meant to at least send you a heads up that you were going to be featured here tonight, but I knew you'd be a good sport about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was actually surprising because I've been really busy. We've been getting a lot of snow here too. So
Yes.
a lot of extra shoveling and snow removal, paths
Yeah.
for the dogs. Hey,
Yep.
Blue Butterfly and everyone. So
Good to see you, Kush and Marshall. Thanks for coming in. Much love. Blue, good to see you.
yeah, so I didn't get a notification for this live stream.
Yeah, that happens a lot on YouTube with my channel.
Yeah, so to me it was just a pop-up thing, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll stop in and hit the thumbs up. And then I was like, okay, I got to reconfigure my schedule here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, normally when I do this as a heads up to people, I will let you know ahead of time, but this was kind of a last night me figuring out, okay, how am I doing this? What am I doing? How's it going to go? So
well, I wanted to thank you too for featuring my channel there. I can tell it took a fair amount of work for you to put those clips together.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of what I do.
That's right on. So, and then you mentioned that I've got the premiere coming up. It's a Valentine's premiere. But I think at the time that you looked at it, or if anyone did before, I didn't have the trailer video for it ready yet.
Oh, okay.
And I actually finished the trailer, so that's there. So if you want, I can share it. It's like a 30-second trailer.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there anything you wanted to ask me or go over with me first?
I mean, if you want to share anything more about your channel, I definitely want to give everybody who comes up who's a content creator a chance to share, or anything maybe you have coming up. You mentioned your premiere, but anything you want to share about your channel.
So yeah, I think you did a really good job, and that video
Glad you did, lady.
covers it pretty good too. But yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, it's my channel covers dogs, dog walking, nature, precious metals, finance, music, entertainment, and we do the words games, as you know. Yes,
I love the words game, and you really are the greatest at hosting that, in my opinion. You just have a calmness about you, JM, that I think is really it draws people into you. You know, you're very, you're just really good at supporting so many people, and I hope you recognize that about yourself. You know, I just figure everyone does the best they can. Everyone
comes from a different perspective and from a different situation. But yeah, so I just do the best I can and keep moving forward. But thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
One thing I was just thinking about it today, but I think it would be cool maybe for like 4 or 6 weeks out, rather than doing the words games on some tentative time in the future, switch it up and rather do the words game. I think I'd like to actually do like a promote your music channel show and fudge that in instead of the words game, and just try that as a one-off.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, if anyone wanted to feature their channel, if they can come up on the panel and share, say, their best song or their favorite song or whatever.
I love that.
Maybe have 10 people.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it kind of came about on my channel. I didn't, come into this really involved even at that point within the indie music community. But, I think these channels, they sort of just evolve, right? I mean, it just happens. And I think that's great. I've noticed already that even during your words games, you feature some different musicians from the indie community. And I know that's always much appreciated by all of them. And I think that's a great idea. I hope you roll with that, JM.
Yeah, I think I may want to discuss it with a few people first and just kind of get a lineup of maybe 5, more likely 10 people, and just kind of knock them out one after another, give each of them, one song or one video they can play, and promote the heck out of them.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Good to see you, crew. Thanks for coming in. Craig, much love to you. Lots of really good conversation happening in the chat too, and I appreciate you all being here and just chit-chatting with each other. It's good information. Okay, do you want to pull up that video? Yeah, there we go, JM. Awesome.
Okay, so I just pulled it up, and I'll just quick read the description here too, or I'll just tell you off the top of my head. It is a Valentine's song. It's about a couple that met at a Christmas party back in December. And but they live like 500 miles away, so they had more than a fling. They really connected. They kept in contact, and they decided that they'd reconnect for Valentine's. And so that's why it's called From December to February.
Love it. Great concept.
So I just want to switch the audio settings.
Good to see you, Nuke.
Where did we go here? For some reason, I got another one. Okay, I'm just going to switch audio settings, and then I'll play it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute. Thanks for sharing this with us, Jam. A little sneak peek here.
Okay, yeah, it's very short. It's like a 20 or 30 second, but it's a nice little trailer.
From December to February, been thinking about you. Remember that night, how could I forget? The crowd counting down, our eyes were weaving, and now here we are, right where we should be.
All right. Love it. Looking forward to this, Jam. How did you, Jam, if you want to share, how did you first get into doing this AI music? What inspired you?
It's perfect that you asked that, because it gave me time to switch my audio settings. Well, I think it was just a derivative or natural progression from doing karaoke.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what was the first one that I did. Being interested in the copyrights, the difference between a claim and a strike and all that. And I started following her channel. It's Top Music Attorney. I've done a couple community posts where she's talking about it, but she started getting into the AI, and I watched a couple of those videos. And, people were talking about how you can create your own AI music, and you won't even get a copyright claim. And I thought, okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so the first one that was featured was Suno. And so that's what all of them have been so far. But this one is actually, I used a different AI platform, which I put in the description here. Refusion, which is it's a much younger AI generator, and it's still in beta mode. But you heard the quality of it. Like it's more finicky, but still not bad.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you're doing a great job with it, and I can already see, that you're improving in your skills that when you're doing this too, which is awesome. The more you use it, the better you're getting at it.
Well, I'm actually I started doing a couple commercials, right? Like I did that Osmium commercial, promoted Sal's channel. I've done
Frank.
For one of the local hockey teams here. I actually did 10
Algo.
10 songs for them promoting their hockey team, which they may or may not actually use some of them on the radio, for radio ads. But they're using some of my AI music for their warm-ups. So
well, that's so cool. That's great. For the length of time you've been doing that, to like have this many people already kind of latching on and really appreciating what you're doing, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I think it's not so much me, other than that I've got the patience, and I know I've got a decent ear, which is a big part of the reason I don't like singing live anymore. Because I can tell it just doesn't. I don't like how it sounds.
I appreciate when you sing live, just so you know, because I feel like I'm in that same boat where I'm not, I don't feel like I have an incredible voice, but I really enjoy singing. And, I think that you also have a great voice, but, it's not like we're a lady champion or someone who's pitch perfect, or, you know what I mean? But like putting yourself out there, I think you and some others too helped encourage me to be a little brave about it. I'm not the most comfortable with my own singing, but I enjoyed doing it,
Yeah. And you did it, right? And I think it sounds pretty good. Like, neither of us are professional, but sure, even a vocal teacher or a music teacher, would be given, you'd be into the 80s on it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I love all the things you're doing, JM, and I just really appreciate who you are as a person, in addition to who you are as a content creator and, supporter of many on YouTube. So glad to know you, and glad that we've kind of, been on this little journey together here on YouTube. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's neat. And, there's so many karaoke channels, and there's really almost every musician out there is a better musician than I am. So when there's a panel of 4 or 5 or more, I'd rather let them get the eyeballs on them. But yeah, if it's a young channel or someone's just starting it and they don't have anybody, then I'm most inclined to go up and sing something live, just to show support.
Right. But, yeah, it's great.
So it's
noticed.
Anyone else on the porch there?
Nope, nobody else back here. Oh. I do have somebody who just came back, but it's not someone I know by that name. I should have clarified that, so sorry about that. But if it's not somebody that I know, then please come and interact in the chat, and I'd love to have you come up another time. But just because of how it works on YouTube, as many of you know, there's people that come up and kind of ruin the stream with porn bombing or different things like that. So unfortunately, if I don't know you, I can't have you up on the panel, even though I would love to get to know you that way. A great place to come to be able to get to know me better, and for me to get to know you better, is the Backstage Speakeasies. On the Backstage Speakeasies, it's like a false front on YouTube where the link will be pinned at the top like it is now, but we're not live on YouTube. And so I can let people back there, and if they P-bomb, it's not going to affect the channel. But that's just a good way for me to get to know you. So to the person who's in the back, I see you, John and Neil, also. Thank you for just coming up. But the other person who's here, please don't be offended. I would love to have you come up another time, but please come and hang out in the chat so that I can get to know you better. Appreciate you. Cat Attack, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And appreciate everybody who's here.
Hey, Indy, I see something in the private chat there. Did you want me to pull that up?
No. Go ahead and leave that. I'm going to play that as the closing song, so you got a little sneak peek of it.
Nice. Okay. I know what the closing song is. No one else.
Yep. Thanks for understanding. Appreciate you. All right. JM, anything else you want to share?
I'm good to go. I think maybe I should just encourage if anyone else wanted to come up. Now's the time, and like I don't know how much time you have left, but
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I've got 2 more people here in the back, so I appreciate that. And I think I'm gonna try to keep this around 2-hour mark. So I just want it to be a little shorter so that I can do these a little more often, and hopefully. And and also thank you to those of you who put the feedback in. I was reading the comments earlier about the vertical, and I know links aren't hyperlinks in here, but you can copy and paste them. And I've heard on computers that they're easier to access. So thank you to the mods who are sharing them. But yeah, it is a little different, and I know it's a little bit harder in the chat too to be able to see everything. But it's kind of nice to try something different. So I'll be open to your feedback, and maybe sometimes we'll do these vertically, and sometimes we'll do them on more of the landscape model. But I don't know.
yep, the links worked for me when I tried on my computer. They worked no problem.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've heard that on the computer they work, but on phones they don't work. So, or on tablets they don't work.
Yep.
So, yeah. And if nothing else, it's like, I just wanted to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone to try it vertically, and then also to see what I needed to do, like getting this format set up and, making it so that it looks decent and kind of figuring out how it's different. And it is a little different. It is for sure. But, yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I'm liking having this time to kind of talk one-on-one with people too. So thank you to those of you who have come up. I appreciate you all.
It's a great idea. So I'll drop down then, and we'll see everyone in the chat.
All right. Thanks, Jam. Much love. Okay. Next we have John Dunning. John, thanks for coming up. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing good. John, you were a big part of reaching my goal. So thank you very much for your support in all the different ways, and for pushing me to do this. I'm having a good time with it. So thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure. And this is different,
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoy it. This is kind of like how you do your backstages.
Yeah.
But more one-on-one. Which it's enjoyable.
Yes. Yeah. I'm enjoying the one-on-one. I do. I love the panels. I love the big panel. We usually get a pretty full panel on Fridays, whether it's for music or for conversation. And I love having everybody there and getting to talk and listen and hear all the ideas. And, sometimes it gets heated, and sometimes, just a lot of laughter, and everybody wants to talk over each other and share. And I appreciate that about everybody who comes to that. But it is a little different than how I first started things. When I first started, it was a smaller panel, and a lot of times I do more kind of like one-on-one interviews and things like that. And I've sort of moved away from that. Like I said, the channel just kind of evolved away from that. And so I thought, featuring a couple different artists each time I do this, Go Ask Indy, and then having the one-on-one time, it's kind of a good mix or balance between this, hopefully this, and the Indie After Darks.
I think the key, Andy, is keep it fun for yourself.
Yeah.
That's like I used to.
Robotin cat attack.
And it just, I got burned out.
Mm-hmm.
And through the things that I was, through time and how things are. And
Take care, Frank.
Like wanting to educate people and taking that burden, but something I've learned is, what's happening right now is, well, you were a teacher. How do you teach people?
As a teacher, how do I teach people?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, honestly, I think that God has gifted me to be a teacher, and that I'm really good at reading people. And so I understand kind of what they're struggling with and what's holding them back from learning different things, whether it's, reading, writing, arithmetic, or with students. I worked with young kids. So, different things in their lives that were kind of holding them back from, a lot of family issues and things like that at home, or who they'd always been told that they were, a lot of anger issues, things like that. So I think Honestly, I mean, that's kind of maybe not the answer you were looking for, but I think that's how I connected as a teacher with students. But pause 1 second before you get into this, John. Just 1 second. JM, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, thanks to everyone who pressed the like. Thank you to you, JM. Much love. But go ahead, John.
But on a psychological level, you know, we learn through 3 basic steps.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if we hear something, it's kind of like, okay, I hear it, and you really don't grasp it or comprehend it, but you've heard it. And then you can see something. That's just like, if you tell a child 2 plus 2 equals 4, they really don't grasp that. But if you show them 2 plus 2 and equals 4, they get a better grasp of that. And they really don't comprehend it until they can write down 2 plus 2 and figure that out for themselves, like whether you use your fingers to go 1, 2, 3, 4, or
yes, more of the kinesthetic. A lot of people are the kinesthetic learners, the hands-on and having to do it yourself rather than being told how to do it. Yeah, agreed.
So in a sense, something I've kind of like observed is we're being shown through multimedia and different things. And we're experiencing. That's just like, we don't really know what inflation is unless we experience it. Mm-hmm. We don't understand government unless we can see it and witness it. And, you know, so we're seeing a lot of things playing out that is really teaching us right now. And a lot of people think, oh my God, we're doomed and gloomed and we're going to die. And it's like, no, we're in the best times because we're learning, you know, we're starting to see the corruption. We're starting to see all the things that, and once we see it and everything, we know we'll be able to realize the changes that takes place, whether they are actually for the good or not, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well said, John.
But
yeah. What pointed out there are 3 main types of learners: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, here, I'll tell you a joke. My dad told me this joke, and it really, when you stop and think about it, it really says a lot. But there was a doctor, and he had his business, and it wasn't doing too good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to think of other ways to supplement his income, and he raised rabbits. So he started realizing that rabbit turds kind of look like pills.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he was taking these dried up rabbit turds, and he had him a stand out, and he was selling them as smart pills. And this one fella came by and bought some, and he asked the doctor, he said, "These really make you smart?" And he said, "Yep." Well, about a month later, the guy come back and he said, "Doc, I don't know if these things are working or not." And the doctor said, "Well, they take time." He said, "Well, give me another batch." So he got another batch. And after that batch was done, he come back and he said, "Doc, I really don't know if these are doing any good, but they sure taste like shit." The doctor said, "Yeah, you're getting smart."
That's a good one, John. That's a good one. I might have to share that one. I might have to share that one with my son. My son is like the ultimate dad joke teller, and it's so funny to me because I can barely remember jokes. I don't know what it is. It's like a mental block. I have heard obviously so many jokes, but I never remember them right. And he has, I mean, just from a very young age, he started making up his own, and they were kind of like awkward at first and didn't really make sense. But now he has this whole, like, he remembers so many jokes, and he's come up with his own, and it's just his own. It's like in him to do. It's really funny. But yeah, he appreciates the dad jokes. He's only 8.
But I remember my dad telling me that, and you know, when I was a kid, I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Right? Yeah. And my dad passed before my kids were born. So I feel like it's like one of those kind of things that was passed down to him. You know, like I see that my dad in it when he does that. Really quickly, Emerald, yes, I am a woman. And I'm guessing that means you have not been here before. And I know I've seen you around, but thank you for being here. I'm glad that you made it over to the stream, and hopefully we'll get to know you better. Thanks for being here. But yeah. No, and you know, I mean, that's a good point too. Like we have to laugh through all of this, right?
Right.
Right, Nuke.
That's like I tell a lot of people too. You know, if you turned off the internet, the TV, and all of that,
Thanks,
nothing's
Canadian.
changed. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I have some friends who are pretty aware, you know, of what's going on. And when all of this kind of hit for me and for many of us a few years back, they sort of said that. They were like, you know, I'm just going to keep on living my life per normal. And I don't think that that's what I did. You know what I mean? Because it was all so new to me. And just life changed in a lot of different ways. I mean, I also wasn't working because of refusing the vaccine, and you know, so there was a lot of like the day-to-day that just changed, but then also the fallout of relationships being in turmoil. Like a lot of my routines were definitely disrupted. And I don't know, I think it's that we need to find a good balance, you know. Good to see you, Krupp. Thanks for being here.
I think the whole key is the balance.
Yeah. You know, if we're not enjoying our lives, then they've already won. You know, that's kind of how I think about it. You know, we have to make sure we're living in the present as much as we're preparing for the future.
Yeah. You know, there was another story. It's kind of long, but it was about a young fella living in a country where they didn't have much money. And he grew up washing their clothes in the creek and having a garden and trading amongst themselves. And, you know, they usually went around barefoot. They had maybe one pair of good shoes and everything. But then some of their family came and said, you need to go to the city and live because this is, you know, you're poor. So he goes to the city and he grows up, he gets a job, and he finds out he can't make enough money with one job. So he's working 2 jobs, and then he finds out he needs an education. So he goes goes in debt and all this. And then he reflects. He goes, man, I miss being poor because it was a simple life.
Yeah.
You know, you played with the kids, you grew up and you shared things and you just enjoyed life. You didn't get into all this politics and all the.
Right. Yeah. You know, there's that saying, first world problems, you know, and I've been lucky enough to be able to travel and experience different cultures in different places. You know, not as much as I wish I could, but you know, I have from those experiences seen that it is true. Like oftentimes those who others here might see as, you know, not as well off, or, you know, they're impoverished. A lot of times they are living happier lives because they don't have a lot of the same stresses and pressures and regulations and, you know, everything going on that we do. Or I don't know about happier lives. Maybe that's too general, but I think there's something to keeping things simple, you know, and I think we've lost that a lot here in the United States.
Like some people look down on the Amish.
Right.
But then again, people now are saying, wow, you know, that's really the way to go.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, before, when I heard about, you know, when I knew what I knew, I didn't know a ton about the Amish, but what I did know of them, I kind of just thought it was weird. You know, I was like, why would they want to live in the past like that? Like, I don't really understand it. Now I'm completely envious of anyone who was raised Amish because they are fully prepared for whatever's coming. And I think that they're, you know, like these, in my mind, these are all very long multi-generational term plans that we're seeing play out right now. And I think that you know, the founders of the Amish community, I think that they had the foresight to see, like many people did. I mean, there were a lot of, like, if you look at the authors of Brave New World and 1984 and Fahrenheit 450, you know, like all those things, I think they were tuned in or had access to some knowledge that help them to be able to see kind of where it was going. And I think that's true for the Amish as well.
Right. You know, and it just goes to show, you know, you need to be happy with with who you are in life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, and you know, this is the whole thing with like the whole psychological media and even society itself. You know, we grew up idolizing or wishing we had the big yachts and the mansions and then it's like, well,
Love that, OJ.
you know, and these were kind of like
Right.
glorified or
For
romantic.
sure. Keeping
know.
up with the Kardashians, you know,
Right.
now. I mean, we neither of us grew up with that, but now, you know, that's what's prevalent. And it's even worse, honestly, since that, you know, I definitely hear what you're saying.
But, you know, I try to stay well grounded, you know. To me, it's like, and I grew up on a farm, and it's like I never really wanted the yachts and the planes and the jets and the mansions
Mm-hmm.
and all that. I just enjoyed life, and you know, even at that level, you know, yes, you have to work. You know, my father was good enough to have bestowed that to me. He says, John, you know, work hard in life and apply yourself, and you'll do okay. You know, he didn't glorify it to where work hard and apply yourself, and you're going to be a billionaire. You know?
Right. Yeah.
When you reach that level, chances are you're in a long line of succession. Like you notice, like politicians usually they're
Have family ties, right? They're all related in some way. And yeah. Or even like for the NGOs, you know, a lot of them are tied in. You know, it's all kind of the backroom deals.
So
yeah. Let me read this comment here from Silver Patriot. Silver says, we need to think about what kind of legacy are we leaving behind for the next generation. As Ronald Reagan said, freedom is only one generation away from extinction. We all need to take a stand. Amen, Silver. Absolutely agree. And I think with all of the information coming to light over the last few years and now with this administration too, I'm hopeful that more people will be willing to take a stand. So I have young kids, you know, I've said this many times, but my only fear is for my children.
That's like, you know, my children are probably your age now, but my grandchildren, you know, I think about them and what can we do, you know, and I think the big thing is just set the example, you know,
right.
What, you know, do what you can. I mean, I'm not presidential material, so I'm not going to be no president, you know, but I can influence people who have direct access to me, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well, and like you were saying earlier, you know, it's the what different ways people learn, like, and then now being the example, you know, we need to make sure we're passing on the information and the skills to the younger generations.
You know, and I like catchy little phrases like you know, I teach my grandkids, you know, do unto others as you would have others do unto you.
Right. You know? Yeah. I say to my kids, use your powers for good.
Right.
Because they're still really young and they, you know, I think, you know, I might be a little biased, but honestly, I think that they could be world changers. They have it in them, both of them in different ways to have a huge impact. You know, I don't want to go into too much here, but just trust me, they have that in them. And, you know, I just hope that they'll, like every parent, I hope they'll stay on a good path, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, you are a good example, Indy.
Thank you. I hope so.
They always say, how do you get to know somebody's parents? Well, you get to know their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're a direct reflection and sponge of everything that they've learned.
Right. Yeah, well, my kids are definitely the best of me and my husband, that's for sure.
But you're doing awesome, Andy. I just came up here just to
thank you, John.
Thank you and wish you the best. And, you know, I support you and
thank you.
Others do as well.
Well, I really appreciate it. And, I've known you as a name in chat for a really long time. I think I first met you over at Hawks Mustard Seeds. And, I've seen how you support people and how you share links to great information. And, but it's been really good to get to know you a little bit better through the backstage speakeasies and you coming up on panels and getting to talk with you more. So I'm glad you're on this journey with you and with me, and that we're on the same team.
Right. Did you notice on the U.S. debt clock, they added a new category?
Yes, for Doge, right? For like the amount that's being saved. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't follow the debt clock closely, but other streamers who do that I follow, I get, I kind of pick up on that information from. And yeah, absolutely. It's pretty amazing what they're already finding and how much waste there's been,
Right.
and that we've been footing the bill for.
Yeah. And that's why I say a lot of everything that's going to happen or is happening is just the fact it's shining a light on it.
Yeah.
Darkness does not like light,
Nope, Neil, they're all mine. Yeah. All right, John, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we have a backstage speakeasy coming up. I've been doing those pretty consistently now on Sundays at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. And I think this week we're going to do The Lost Boys and The Crow, which I saw The Crow when I was really little, like not really little, but around when it first came out, a young teenager, I think. And I don't really remember it very well. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And then The Lost Boys is just a good vampire flick. So sometimes we get into heavy stuff backstage. We get into some things that are political that we can't really share and talk about here on YouTube. Sometimes we listen to music. Sometimes we just talk, and sometimes we just watch great movies together. So this is one of those times, but hopefully I'll see you there, John.
Yep. Love you, Indy.
All right. Love you back. Have a great night. All right. Okay, Neil, thank you for waiting patiently backstage. How are you doing? Thanks for coming up.
What's up?
Having a good time. Hey, good to see you, Justin.
I just figured I'd come up here because there's no one else that I can interrupt, so you can't yell at me.
I can still mute you. I'm just saying.
That's why I didn't go in that direction, because I didn't want to fall in that.
Yeah.
Like, if I go that way, she's still
Good night, Katie. Good night, Katie. Much love. No, I'll probably interrupt you to talk to the chat. But what's on your mind tonight, Neil?
Well, it's cold.
Now that you have the floor, what are you going to do with it?
I'm not good at talking to the air. I like rebuting and rebutting.
Right. Okay. Well, how about start with what you're doing over at your channel? Anything you want to tell people about what's going on over there?
Oh, yeah. Keep up with platinum. It's fixing. It's going to blow people's minds here shortly, because what's happening in South Africa right now, that government's going to be falling apart. And that's going to end all manipulation for the control of platinum, and platinum's going to take off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Anarchy Television. Wow, Neil's speechless.
I know, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not like someone you can stand up to a podium and they give a speech. I'm not that type of person. I'm a debate type talker, or a rebuttal. I'll converse. I'm not a speaker, I'm a converser.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually used to taking stage and talking. I'm used to.
That's kind of how I feel when I'm up here by myself. When on the rare occasions that happens, that's what I kind of feel like. Like I'm just kind of rambling at myself is what it sort of feels like.
Yeah.
I'd much rather.
Fuck, I'm going schizo. I'm in a room. All I need is pads now. I'm talking to a fucking screen.
Right, exactly. And I know everybody's here in the chat and everything too, but it is, I don't know, for me, there are some people who are really good at being up here by themselves, but I enjoy the conversation back and forth.
Yeah, I like conversation talk, not speech talk.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty good with who was that? Arcadia Economics a couple years ago, when they had Silverfest online. There's some issues that Yara had with Chris, so she had to leave the live stream, and so I stepped up and she left me in charge for about 20 minutes. And that's how I got to know all the, Andy Scheckmans and the David Morgan and James Andersons, because for like 20 minutes I was an impromptu host, and all I did was tell them stories about when I was a tiger trainer, and when I had started my Ren Fair, and I just started talking shit that happened in my life, and it was interesting to them. And I found out that Yara came back after 5 minutes and let me keep running my mouth for an extra 15 minutes because she was interested in what I said.
Yeah, you're getting heckled by the chat here, though,
Oh,
Neil.
of course.
Amir says the first rule of panel guests is to never ask Neil what's on his mind.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good to get. You've mentioned a lot of your different jobs that you've had before, but I haven't heard you really go into depth about anything. Like, I mean, how did you get involved in tiger training? Like, what are these? What are these different things that you've done?
This is very interesting. Okay, I came out here in California in '96, and a buddy of mine started his own Ren Fair back in Pensacola in like '99. So in 2000, no, he started it way before that. He started it before I came out here because I helped him. He started it in '95 because I helped him with his first Ren Fair because it was at St. John's Catholic Church. And then I came out here to do ironwork. And then in 2000, I came back to Florida to help him run a Ren Fair because he was having some issues. And I decided just out of the blue that I was going to open a Ren Fair. So I went to the next city over, which is Mobile, Alabama, and I started a Ren Fair. And if you don't have any money and you want to do some sort of festival or event, first thing you got to do is find land as cheap as possible. So the Mobile Zoo is not actually the Mobile Zoo. It's a nonprofit rescue. They just call themselves the Mobile Zoo. Mobile doesn't actually have a zoo. So they had like 150 acres, but it was unmaintained because they were understaffed and didn't have that many visitors. So I had to go there for a couple months and clean up their property, get it set up for my Ren Fair. And during that time period, I was around the owners a lot and dealing with the animals. And the actual cat, Misha, she's dead now. She had just had babies, Nadia and Anna. And Fran, the owner, she was taking me back into the trainers area where they walked closer to the animals. And Misha just took a liking to me. She basically,
that's awesome.
She said, this is the one, because Fran was at the time, and it was just circumstantial because Misha did just have the kittens. So Fran was looking for some extra help to train them, but she was real particular on who went around the kittens, But so when the mom of the kittens chose me, well, that just ended her search. So I became a tiger trainer by request of the mother of the kittens.
That's awesome.
So it was divine. Is awesome. It was divine. I've always loved animals. I've always gotten. Years before that, a buddy of mine had a exotic pet store. He'd get animals straight, and I disagreed with it totally because I didn't like that they were getting animals straight out of the Amazon and everything. Mm-hmm. But they were, and it was done legally, so I couldn't really bitch too much. And I was happy to play the role of that. He gave every animal he bought that came in, he gave to me to humanize. So I got to work with a lot of animals that are straight out of the Amazon rainforest. I got to work with and humanize, and then I turned them over to him so he could sell them to people.
That is so cool. What an experience to be able to have. I mean, that's pretty rare. So I think that's awesome.
Like I said, I think it's more divine. I was gifted like animal husbandry gift or something, and animals just, I can
animal whisperer.
I just get along with all of them. There was one time in Pittsburgh out here in California about 20 years ago. There was these two huge dogs. I was dropping my boss off at his house. And there was these two big ass freaking dogs. And I was waiting in the car and I saw people running into their houses. And I looked at these dogs. They looked cute to me. I mean, yeah, they were big, but they looked cute. I mean, they could have been vicious, but they looked cute. So I jumped out of my car and said, "Hey, little boys, come over here." And I called them over and started talking with them and said, "Hey, where you guys live?" So I actually was able to talk them into walking me to where their house was, where they jumped out the window that the owner didn't know about. So I walked up to the house, knocked, and said, "Hey, are these your dogs?" So they basically led me back to their house just because I hopped up and talked to them. I know that sounds crazy, but it's what I did.
No. Like John says, animals are good at knowing whether someone is good or not. Absolutely. Yeah, I trust animals and their instincts about people for sure.
I trust animals to protect me more than people. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Frank's Tracks, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
No, I just always, you know, whatever the calling is. For like 15 years, my calling was saving dogs out here, and all 4 of them passed last year. And now it seems like it's cats. So
now you're the cat man. Yep.
Yeah, you know, they just come. Like my first 2, their mom gave birth to them on my freaking doormat. I couldn't avoid them. As soon as I opened the door, they was like, "Hello, yeah, okay, this ain't gonna work. You guys need to move."
That's like Wingnut with his dogs. He's got all the dogs over there. You've got all the cats.
Yeah, as long as you're saving God's animals, the way I see it, you know, He put us down here to take care and tend to the plants, animals, and the whole planet, and each other. Everyone forgets the first part and only looks at the and each other part, and we trash the planet and the animals. And I take it a step further because, you know, God created wolves, man created dogs, God created lions and tigers, man took that to the extent of kitty cats. So in the domestication of wildlife, we take personal responsibility and care for these animals in the eyes of God, as far as I see it. So every time I see a cat that's been thrown out, that's, you know, I see it as a personal responsibility to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good point.
You know, and that's different than like a tiger, because we haven't domesticated tigers. They're still tigers, but this cat laying on my back right now, it ain't a tiger. It's domesticated. Maybe about 300 years ago, his great grandmother might have been a tiger, but and that's man's doing. That's not God's doing. So we're directly responsible for that. And anyone who doesn't think that is actually lying to yourself, or don't understand the meaning of the word responsibility.
Well, I guess I had just never really thought about it as, you know, the difference between the animals created by God and then what we've done with them. But it's true. And, you know, really, that's kind of, you can look at that in a lot of ways, you know, it's kind of people manipulate things, you know.
Well, try and think how God thinks about it. You know, He gave us.
No, I did not say that, Anton, but you would pick up on it if I did. Yeah.
How would God feel about us changing His work and then ignoring it and throwing it in the trash?
Right. That said, I sure love the dogs and cats. So, you know,
I love all animals. The ones I'm having a problem with are the human animal.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, I am getting close to the 2-hour mark, and I really want to try to keep this right at that. Thank you so much
you
for
just
coming
want to
up.
kick me off the panel.
It's like the ultimate mute right now, Neil.
I know. I wanted to give it to you, girl. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. No, thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up, Neil. And it is good to get to hear a little bit.
I like you or something.
Yeah, right. It's that whole sibling thing we've got for sure.
Yeah, you're that little sister I never knew I didn't want. I tell you.
Right. Yeah, I feel it, Neil.
Right. I'm gonna step down. I'm gonna step down and take my own throat. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Thanks for coming up, Neil. All right. Much love to you. And thank you everybody who's been here. I think this has been pretty fun. I'm liking how this is going. So I'm hoping I can do more of these. You know, they might be just pop up. I'll maybe try to let people know in advance, posting like I did. So keep checking, because I do not think that YouTube really shares out what I'm doing. So come check out my page every once in a while and see what's going on. My community tab, you know, make sure you're checking there. I do share out a lot of live streams. I'm not sharing out channels still right now. Well, actually, I'm not even going to get into that right now, but I'm sharing out a lot of great ones. So go check out the channels over on the community tab. If you're interested in joining my Discord, which is kind of a smaller group of people that are active there, but familiar faces that you guys know, and a good place to get information and links and to be in direct communication in a secure way, then email me. My email is in the video description and in the channel description, and I can send you an invite to the Discord. All right, I'm going to drop a couple links while this last song is playing, and they're going to be to the upcoming Backstage Speakeasy on Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, we're going to be doing a double feature this Sunday of The Lost Boys and The Crow, which were both suggested by Moonchild. Thank you. And then actually before that, on Friday, we'll have Indy After Dark, and it's the Valentine's party. And it should be a really good time for anybody who doesn't have a place to go, or if you're done with your Valentine's plans, or like me, you're celebrating at a different time, then come and celebrate together. So I'll be putting those links in the chat. Go hit the notifications and the like if you would. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Much love to all of you. I love you tons. And this last song is another song created by JM Unleashed. And it is a song that he wrote for me, but really for the whole community here. And it's Indy After Dark. Here we go.
Come on, folks, it's Friday night. Grab a seat and join the light. Open panels, talk so free. Great tunes from our community. 8 o'clock, Eastern, gather around. Voices lifting off the ground. Independent music strong. Join us in the story song. Join us, don't be late. Friday nights, it's gonna be great. Tune in on YouTube, don't delay. IndependentMany united every Friday. Musicians play their hearts and soul. Every week we reach our goal. Unity and love we share. At a channel, find us there. Every week we gather new. Faces, voices, all that's true. Still the same old welcome found. It in the sound. Let's make Fridays worth the wait. Join the magic, don't hesitate. Share the love, share every beat. Together in this weekly treat. Join us, don't be late. Friday nights, it's gonna be great. Tune in on YouTube, don't delay. IndependentMany united every Friday. Musicians play their hearts and soul. Every week we reach our goal. Unity and love we share. At a channel, find us there. Every week we gather new faces, voices, all that's true. Still the same one, welcome found in the music, in the sound. Let's make Fridays worth the wait. Join the magic, don't hesitate. Share the love, share every beat. Together in this weekly treat. Every week we gather new faces, voices, all that's true. Still the same one, welcome found in the music, in the sound. Let's make Fridays worth the wait. Join the magic, don't hesitate. Share the love, share every beat. Together in this weekly treat. Treat.